Welcome to Somerset Weekly Wrap-Up for the week of January 7th to January 13th. Between November 22nd and January 4th, the Somerset Board of Health found 101 violations of the town's noise control bylaw related to the scrap metal operations at the Brayton Point Commerce Center. With each violation punishable by a fine of $300, Brayton Point LLC has been issued a fine of $30,300 by the town. Brayton Point LLC was notified of the violations and the fine by a certified letter that was sent by Health Agent Timothy Turner and Building Commissioner Carl Brazzaro on January 6th. After receiving complaints about noise coming from the scrap metal operations at Brayton Point, the Board of Health began collecting data from sound decibel readings with devices that were set up on two properties on Ripley Street. The COVID-19 Test and Stay program started in Somerset schools on Wednesday. The program allows students and staff who have been close contacts to people with COVID-19 but have no symptoms to take a COVID test in the morning, and if the test is negative, they can attend in-person classes that day instead of quarantining. The COVID tests are being administered at North Elementary School. School Superintendent Jeffrey Schoonover said the goal of the program is to keep as many students in school as possible. Two candidates have taken out nomination papers to run for Somerset School Committee in the annual town election on April 11th. They include Christine Corville of 553 Prospect Street and James Nasto of 70 Valley Road. The Somerset School Committee, which has 5 members, oversees pre-kindergarten through grade 8. Some of the bigger issues that the committee has been dealing with recently have included the building of a new middle school, issues related to COVID-19 restrictions on the schools, social and emotional learning, and maintenance of the elementary schools. There are 2 open seats on the Somerset School Committee because members Michael McDonald and Christopher Godet have announced they are not running for re-election. Of the candidates who run for the seats, the 2 highest vote getters will win the seats. Candidates do not run for specific school committee seats. The seats carry a 3-year term. If Nasto and Corville want to get their names on the ballot for the April 11th election, they need to get the signatures of at least 50 registered voters from Somerset and return their nomination papers by February 18th. Corville and Nasto are the first 2 candidates to take out nomination papers to run for Somerset School Committee in this year's annual town election. There is also an opening on the Somerset Berkeley Regional School Committee because Richard Pierce has decided not to seek re-election. That seat also has a 3-year term. Nobody has taken out nomination papers to run for that seat yet. The Regional School Committee oversees grades 9 through 12. There are other seats up for election this year on the Board of Selectmen, Water and Sewer Commission, Board of Assessors, Planning Board, Playground and Recreation Commission, Board of Library Trustees, Housing Authority, and Diamond Regional Vocational Technical High School Committee. Those who want to get their names on the ballot for the annual town election have to take out nomination papers from the town clerk's office by February 16th and return them with the required amount of signatures by February 18th. Somerset Middle School 8th grader Ella Souza was welcomed as the new student representative to the Somerset School Committee on Monday. Souza, an 8th grade student at Somerset Middle School, gave a report to the school committee on activities that have been going on at the middle school and then answered questions from the school committee members. She told them about an anti-bullying program that was recently presented to the students at the middle school. Souza is a member of the school newspaper at the school. Student representatives to school committees are allowed to participate in discussions during the committee's business, but are not allowed to be present during executive sessions and do not have votes. The Somerset Public Schools is looking at redistricting the 3 elementary schools. The options that are being looked at are focusing on having a couple of grades at each of the elementary school buildings rather than having kindergarten through grade 5 in each building. The school administration is going to be looking at a couple of models for the redistricting. School committee member Victor Machado said parents will be asked for their input later in the process. Special Education Director Megan Ashton said the models that are being looked at would be beneficial to special education programs. In sports, the Somerset Berkeley Regional High School boys basketball team made a great comeback to beat Greater New Bedford Vocational Technical High School on Monday. SBRHS was trailing 24-7 in the first half, but gradually chipped away at the lead and in the fourth quarter held the Bears to 5 points as they overtook them for the victory. For the Blue Raiders, Ethan Diaz and Colton Baptiste both had double-doubles. Diaz had 14 points and 12 rebounds. Baptiste had 12 points and 12 rebounds. Point guard Brendan McDonald had 9 points and Christian Pimentel had 6 points. Marge Guy Leduci, who passed away last week, was fondly remembered this week by students and staff as one of the most dedicated volunteers at Somerset Berkeley Regional High School. Marge and her husband Christopher Guy Leduci volunteered to prepare the students in the DECA chapter at SBRHS for their business and marketing competitions. Marge also prepared food for the retreats of the Somerset Berkeley Regional High School School Committee. Thank you for tuning in to Somerset Weekly Wrap-Up. We will see you next week with news from around Somerset.